Usher revealed the creepiest things he saw while living with Diddy.
There were a lot of things I seen, a lot of positions that I think I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions.
And they might surprise you just from how wild they are. Sean Diddy Combs finding himself in hot water wasn't on anyone's 2024 bingo card. But here we are. After federal agents stormed his Los Angeles and Miami residences in a dramatic raid, complete with helicopters overhead, the music mogul was arrested on big allegations. Suddenly, the glitz around one of hip-hop's wealthiest turned downright dark. His lawyer called the whole thing a witch hunt, claiming none of it holds merit. But the bigger story, at least for fans, is how these allegations revived decades-old rumors and interviews about what actually went down inside Diddy's legendary parties. We're talking about late-night gatherings, potential underage presence, and a swirl of questionable camps he hosted. One of the most jaw-dropping revelations that resurfaced is tied to none other than Usher, R&B king, and longtime friend of Diddy. A chunk of his 2016 chat on The Howard Stern Show found new life online, fueling gossip columns everywhere. In the interview, a then 37-year-old Usher recalled living with Diddy, or Puffy, as he was often called back then.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
At age 13. Yes, 13, that tender age before you can drive or vote, but apparently old enough for late-night jam sessions or something more. Add to this the closeness Justin Bieber once had with Diddy, and fans are suddenly side-eyeing all these teen protégés in Puff's orbit. As more of Diddy's alleged secrets spill out, folks can't help but rewatch old interviews featuring starry-eyed teenagers praising him, now with a worried brow. Could there be a pattern? So, in 2016, Usher's on The Howard Stern Show, laughing about how wild it was to share a roof with Diddy when he was barely a teenager. But the giggly nostalgia has a new lens now, because what he casually described sounds, well, borderline alarming. Usher admitted to seeing grown-up stuff no 13-year-old should be around. He told Howard that L.A. Reid, the music executive who discovered him, sent him to New York so Diddy could show him the ropes. That meant nights at the infamous Flavor Camp.
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it.
Presumably designed to help young artists absorb the aura of the music industry. But from Usher's perspective, it was more like an R-rated universe with Biggie, Lil' Kim, Faith Evans, and Mary J. Blige, all partying till 4 a.m. or later. He claimed he often outlasted even the adults. In other interviews, he used more explicit language. I'd open a door and see a couple having some fun, or walk into a room and something was going on. Usher didn't necessarily say he was forced into anything, but the exposure alone raises eyebrows. When Howard asked whether he'd send his own kids to Puffy camp, Usher gave a firm hell no. That single phrase carries a lot of weight nowadays. If it was just an eccentric experience, why so adamant a no? Some fans say it's comedic exaggeration. Others suspect he's only sharing half the story. We always knew Diddy's gatherings were legendary, but the reemerged details make them sound borderline unhinged. Usher recalls seeing superstar rap icons popping bottles until sunrise, like it was a daily norm. Biggie Smalls, Lil' Kim, and Mary J. Blige roamed the halls at all hours, with a teen Usher presumably wide-eyed in a corner. He claims Diddy's approach was basically, witness it all. This is the lifestyle you can have if you hustle. A bizarre mentor program indeed. No one's shocked that a 90s hip-hop producer was into late-night mania, but factoring in an underage kid is another matter entirely. The real question is, did no adult raise a red flag? Or was everyone too busy chasing hits and partying? Usher's never said Diddy laid a hand on him, but the environment sounds chaotic enough that even those not directly harmed might end up with serious stories to tell. And with Diddy's current woes swirling, folks are sifting through every anecdote. Could these massive blowouts have hidden something more sinister? Is on everyone's mind. Even if it was all just fun, the optics look worse by the day. We can't forget that in 2004, Usher told Rolling Stone Diddy introduced him to a culture far too young, an admission that reads differently in 2025's climate. Justin Bieber fans are quietly freaking out because Biebs also had a mentor-mentee dynamic with Diddy around age 15. In an old YouTube clip that's now popping up again, Diddy boasts that he has custody of Justin for 48 hours.
Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy.
Teasing they'll do wild stuff he can't disclose.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
He's literally on camera proclaiming it's a 15-year-old's dream.
It's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
But now that the allegations are swirling, fans are rewatching that clip with mounting discomfort. What exactly was the dream? It doesn't help that Khloe Kardashian once joked on Keeping Up with the Kardashians about attending a Diddy party where half the people were butt naked.
I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it.
And Justin was around. That anecdote might have flown under the radar before, but in hindsight, it's fueling theories that maybe Bieber saw questionable scenes too. In the last year, Bieber's cut ties with a bunch of old acquaintances on Instagram, including his manager Scooter Braun, and apparently, cue the drama, his old friend and mentor Usher, who's historically been close to Diddy. Coincidence? Or is the Biebs distancing himself from any perceived Diddy-laden baggage? One big question swirling in the gossip sphere is whether Justin's abrupt unfollow spree is some sort of coded message. After all, Usher was the guy who discovered Justin, practically guiding him from YouTube, nobody to global teen idol. For years, they seemed tight, collaborating musically and appearing as family. Yet, as soon as Diddy's allegations hit headlines, Justin ditched Usher and others on Instagram. Some sources think Justin's simply rebranding or cleaning up his social feed. Others suspect he's reacting to the swirl of negativity around Diddy and wanting zero association with that era. Then there's the story about Usher inviting Justin to cameo at his Super Bowl halftime show, but Justin turning him down. Usher told The Breakfast Club it was no big deal, and they'd collaborate again eventually, but fans can't help connecting the dots. If Biebs was iffy about performing at the biggest event of the year, maybe it signals a deeper tension. Still, no official statement from Justin suggests he's condemning Usher or Diddy, which leaves fans decoding unsubscribes and cryptic quotes for answers. The fiasco truly started in March 2024, when Homeland Security investigations swooped down on Diddy's properties in LA and Miami. They arrived in full force, helicopters overhead, like a scene from a Hollywood action flick. Diddy's lawyer cried foul, labeling it military-level force for meritless accusations. But the damage was done. Footage of Diddy's sons being handcuffed in the driveway spilled onto the internet in seconds, fueling speculation about the depth of his alleged actions. Diddy's team insists he's innocent and that these civil suits are just gold diggers, aiming to tarnish him. But in the court of public opinion, each new snippet of old interviews, like Usher's or Bieber's, begins to look like a puzzle piece. Folks recall how Diddy once boasted about hosting weird parties, or the playful references to freak-off gatherings, and now wonder if it's just one big open secret. With rumors swirling that some of these parties involved questionable underage presence, the line between flamboyant entertainer and potential predator starts to blur. Everyone's bracing for more revelations from ex-bad boy artists or other teen stars who once circled Diddy's orbit. In all this noise, Usher emerges as both victim and participant, a 13-year-old star tossed into a swirl of adult madness. He occasionally praised Diddy for teaching him hustle and how to cultivate culture, but also described scenes of adult behavior he couldn't fully comprehend. The result is an oddly conflicted narrative. He admires Diddy's entrepreneurial genius, but regrets the environment he was exposed to. Meanwhile, Justin Bieber remains elusive, quietly ignoring the frenzy. Many fans want a statement from him, maybe some clarity on whether he also saw anything suspect as a kid under Diddy's watch. So far, that's not happening. As for Diddy, he's doubling down on his innocence, proclaiming himself the target of unprecedented ambush. If the accusations stick, it could forever tarnish the brand he built through Bad Boy Records and all those lavish white parties. If they don't, the shadow of these old allegations will linger anyway, because so many cringe-worthy clips have come to light. Whether we end up with a trial or a hush-hush settlement is anyone's guess, but the conversation isn't cooling off soon. People can't help but rewatch that Howard Stern interview with Usher, noticing how he laughed off the bizarre details at the time. Now that laughter feels more like a nervous giggle. What do you guys think of Diddy now? Is he extra guilty looking now that Justin unfollowed him? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great day.